Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Valorant Deep Dive. Man, I haven't done one of these in a while. And for this episode, I'm gonna just do some quick analytical preview for this upcoming Master Santiago. The first team we'll be looking at is Gentlemates. They're the second seed from EMEA. For their roster, they have Recon Initiator IGL Starksoul, Entry Duelist Beeple, Sentinel and Second Controller Mini, the main Smoke, who only played Astra during kickoff, Glyph, and their star player, who only played Yoru, Martin. Gentlemates' best maps are Split and Bind, both having a 3-0 record on it, and their permaban has been Breeds, banning it 5 out of 5 times. And some of their bad maps are Breeze, Corrode, and Pearl. Then the team we're going to be looking at is EDG. They're the third seed from China, with their Recon Initiator IGL Nobody, Supportive Duelist CB, Sentinel and Second Controller Chichu, May Smoke, Smoggy, and star player Kankan. EDG's best maps are Corrode and Haven. They have a 3-0 record on Corrode, playing their Phoenix Yoru double duelist comp, and they have a 3-1 record on Haven. Some of their permabans are Breeze, banning it 4 out of 7 times, and Pearl, banning it 3 out of 7 times. Some of their bad maps are Breeze, Pearl, and Split. Gentlemates will be facing up against EDG on their first game. Both teams love to ban Breeze, especially Gentlemates, banning it 5 out of 5 times during kickoff. So Breeze will be a crucial map for both teams, and Gentlemates has to get their Breeze to a decent level so that they have an option to not first ban it, and only by doing that, they can first ban Corrode, which is EDG's best map. If Gentlemates has to ban Breeze, I don't really see them winning this series. But again, China is definitely the weakest region out of the 4, and even with EDG having a perfect record on Corrode, I'm still not fully confident in that map. So going into this match, there's a lot to work on for EDG as well. Martin has played in previous international events, and he did not do that well, dropping a 0.78 rating in EWC during playoff, similar to Zelsis, who had 0.76. So even though Martin went off against BBL and against Fnatic during EMEA kickoff, I'm not fully confident in him performing at that level against EDG. And EDG have some key players that will perform better on the international stage. Players like Kankan, Smoggy, and Chichu. The team tend to do well internationally if they have dominated the CN region. But this time, they did not. Some of the maps to really look out for are Breeze, Corrode, Split, and Bind. Next up, we got XLG. They're the second seed from China. For their roster, they have Recon Initiator IGL, WS Leo, Entry Flex, Noman, Sentient Secondary Controller, Lysor, Main Smoke, Happyway, and Second Duelist, Ragar. Some of their best maps are Bind and Split, having a 2-0 record on Bind and 2-1 record on Split. Their permaban has been Corrode, banning it 3 out of 4 times, and some of their bad maps are Corrode and Haven. And then we have NRG, the third seed from Americas. For their roster, they have Support Initiator IGL Eason, Entry Duelist Mada, Sentinel and Secondary Controller Scuba, Main Smoke Kiko, and Recon Initiator Brock. NRG's best maps are Abyss and Haven, having a 3-0 record on Abyss and 2-0 record on Haven. And the map that NRG likes to ban is Bind, banning it 3 times out of the 6 games they played. Some bad maps for NRG are Bind and Split. For their first game in the Swiss stage, they'll be playing against each other. XLG loves to ban Corrode, and that's a good thing for them, because NRG was one of the best team, if not the best, back in Champs at 2025. Although the meta now is more of a double duelist, NRG is shifting back to their single duelist, double initiator comp. So it's a good choice for XLG to take Corrode away from NRG. But NRG also likes to ban Bind, which is one of XLG's best map. So going into this game, both teams will be banning each other's best map, making it crucial for each team to level up their second and third best map. And that's what this series will come down to. And NRG have a much better map pool currently than XLG. They have a really strong Abyss, and also a really strong Haven. And both of these maps are hard for XLG to play right now, because they're leaning heavy on the double duelist, with Rogar playing Yoru, and No Man flexing to different duelists. But on Haven and Abyss, it's much more beneficial to just play single duelist. For this series, the map to watch for are definitely Haven and Abyss, like we mentioned before, and probably Split. Now we got G2! They're the second seed for Americas, with their star controller IGL, fragging IGL, Valen, main duelist Jakimo, second duelist and opera Baby Bay, the Ankh Baby Bay, Recon Initiator Trent, and Flex and Senti, One Leaf. G2's best map is definitely Bind. They have a Surrender record on Bind, and some of their permabans are Abyss and Breeze. Now I think G2's Abyss can be good, if they just stop forcing the double duelist. The only problem for them is that if they play single duelist with Jogamo on the Waylay, they have to play double drone, which is Taeho and Sova. Now Trent is the best player on Taeho, but then who's gonna play Sova on the team? That's the one thing that's kinda worrying for their Abyss. If they play single duelist, they gotta figure that out. And G2's first game in Swiss will be against PRX. Now that's a crazy start for both teams. Whoever loses the first game is at such a disadvantage. And you can't tell me this shit is not scripted. But it's whatever. Low-key feel bad for the teams, but as a viewer, it's a fire match. They're the third seed from APAC, going all the way through the lower bracket. For their roster, they have main Smoke and Senti IGL Divide, main duelist Jean, second duelist and opera Something, Recon Initiator Envy, and star player Flex Forsaken. PRX's best map is definitely Haven, also having a 3-0 record on it, and their permaban is Abyss, banning it 7 out of 7 times. And some of their worst maps are Abyss for sure, Bind, and also Corrode. Going into their opening match, both teams love to ban Abyss, especially PRX. They also have another bad map outside of that, which is Bind, and that's G2's best map. So PRX has to either not first ban Abyss, or figure out their Bind. PRX tend to struggle if they can only play one duelist, since both Jing and Something perform much better on the duelist role. However they choose, Abyss is going to be crucial for this series, and I think whoever figures out Abyss and don't have to first ban it has a much higher chance of winning. Lastly, we got SK Telecom. They're the second seed from APAC. For their roster, they have controller IGL Munchkin, Recon Initiator Stax, Sentinel and second controller Meteor, main entry duelist Buzz, second duelist and Flex Izu. For T1, some of their best maps are Bind and Split, both having a 3-0 record on it, and some of their bans are Haven and Abyss. Going into this tournament, I don't think T1 really have a bad map, other than Corrode. And the meta currently is pretty good for T1 because it favors double duelist comps. And T1 has been running it for more than a year now, ever since Masters Bangkok. Team Liquid is the third seed from EMEA, and the last team in Swiss stage. For their roster, they have Flex fragging IGL, Nats, main duelist, Miniboo, second duelist, Camo, main Smokes, Wayne, and Recon Initiator, Purple. Some of Liquid's best maps are Bind and Breeze, having a 4-0 record on Bind and 4-1 record on Breeze. Now these stats may look really good, but do keep in mind that they were riding on their lower bracket run momentum, and some of the teams they played were not as good. Their permaban is Haven, banning at 8 out of 8 games, and some of their bad maps are Haven for sure, Split, and also Corrode. Liquid will be playing against T1 for their first game in Swiss, and T1 is a much more aggressive team compared to the EMEA teams Liquid played against. T1 will be happy if Liquid keeps their permaban Haven, since that is also one of their bad maps. And I'ma be honest here, I don't think Liquid is ready for a team like T1, because I feel that Nats is going to struggle when calling against such a playstyle. And that is it for the preview of Masters Santiago. Thanks.